Now at 1:30, breaking news. Newly unsealed court records in connection to the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez reveal that singer David is now being investigated for her murder. Those documents also provide horrifying new details in this case.
KTLA's Aaron Myers live in our newsroom with more on this breaking story. Aaron.
Court documents made public in the alleged homicide of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez reveal gruesome new details about the death of the teenager, identifying the singer David as the investigation's central target.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. Now, before we get into this video, make sure you check us out on Patreon at www.patreon.com/Hookah Anonymous _. You guys been telling us to create one for the longest, so we recently created a community where we will upload videos that we can't share on YouTube due to their guidelines. We'll also be dropping the latest to there first, behind the scenes information that you wouldn't find anywhere else on our socials. So make sure you become a member, and after you do that, head over to our official Instagram page at Hookah Anonymous _ and follow us there. Now without further ado, let's get into what you guys came here to see. Now, it looks like the Los Angeles Police Department finally did the common sense thing to do. They finally did what we all been waiting for because it was way too obvious. The fact that they've been waiting so long tells us a lot about our law system, whereas they handled the situation a little more worse than we all expected. Now, without any investigations needing to be done, from the outside looking in, I think we all could have called this man being the #1 suspect in the demise of his young girlfriend Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Now, I don't know what made them suddenly want to make him a suspect after it's already been about 6 months. Celeste's body was found in a Tesla, wrapped up in September of 2025, and at first the police had no suspects. They would later get a warrant to search David's home that he was staying at that wasn't too far from where her body was found at, but according to news articles reporting on the situation, nothing came out of the search. But whether anything came out of the search or not, many of us have already viewed David as one of the main suspects after information in regards to her passing was surfaced. Now here's a few key things that we all thought would have put him in cuffs a long time ago, but clearly law enforcement doesn't feel the same. 1. Celeste's parents says that she was missing from since May of 2024, and they believe that she was with David despite her being younger than him by a long shot. Also, they tried to keep their relationship on the low because of her age, but her parents identified David as her boyfriend regardless, stating that she was around 14 years old. Now 2. Celeste was last seen alive publicly at a performance that David had, and she was backstage. 3. She was seen on live with David before her passing, indicating that she was around him and last seen with him. 4. We can't forget the obvious songs which sounded like he was describing the unalive in real time, as well as naming the song after her, Celeste, and not to mention the video he did with a girl in the video resembled Celeste. Now 5, here's the obvious part. Celeste was found in his Tesla, in the trunk, body wrapped up, but somehow police didn't make him a suspect and said that it was no signs of foul play initially. Now I don't know if that was a joke or not, but that girl didn't wrap herself up and put herself in the trunk. Therefore, if she's wrapped up and then placed in the trunk of a car that traces back to another individual, usually that individual becomes the main suspect, right? Well, I guess not in this case, because David wasn't named as a suspect automatically up until this point, just months later on. Now there's a couple of other details that just didn't make sense pertaining to her passing, but those were just the key details that many of us thought would have made him a suspect a long time ago. However, now we're learning that David has been since named as a suspect, and according to them, there's evidence on why, giving police enough to believe that David may have been involved after all. So we're going to get into all that, but before we do, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we can get this video into the algorithm, and if you're not subscribed to the platform already, make sure you do so now. Let's get into it. Now, before we get into everything, let's make it very clear that no criminal charges have been filed against David Burke, aka D4VD. But as of yesterday, it has been made clear via court docs that he has officially been named as a suspect, in which should have been done a long time ago, but hey. However, many may say, yeah, even though it looks like he did it due to everything that's been presented so far, they don't have any actual evidence such as DNA, fingerprints, video surveillance, so how are they going to charge him? Now this is where things get interesting, because now we're starting to fall back on LAPD and the detectives on the case, where many believe that they are the ones that may have dropped the ball and didn't do a thorough enough investigation in time where they could have had possible evidence to flawlessly accuse David. However, they let time go by, significant evidence fade, and now possibly nothing to use to hold anybody to justice, whether they accuse anyone or not. One of the people that have accused LAPD and law enforcement period of doing a sloppy job is Steve Fishker. He's a missing persons private investigator amongst other things, and he believes that Celeste's case may be being mishandled purposely for whatever reason. He's among a few others that have been blowing the whistle on the lack of investigation when it comes to this case and has made it public. In one of his tweets on Twitter, he will call out David, his team, and law enforcement for what he feels is foul play within his case. He would take to a tweet to say, quote, #Celeste Rivas Hernandez deserves better. It's infuriating that we are approaching 6 months and no charges have been filed in her end. If the evidence hasn't been secured by now, what exactly is happening? Is this a blown investigation? We now know these monsters sawed off Celeste's arm and legs. Let's not call it dismemberment. That word sounds clinical, like a surgeon removed her limbs. That is not what happened. A vicious, sick group of people brutally hacked her arms and legs off her body. Was she alive when they started? And yes, I am using plural terms because, in my professional opinion, there is no way one person did this alone, whether participating directly or acting as an accessory. Yet only one individual is named as a target in the court filing. Like you, Neo Christopher Langston, you knew. I've seen family members publicly defend him and threaten lawsuits against anyone who names him. Sue me, I beg you. Please sue me. Give me subpoena power. Give me the power of discovery, because that may be the only way the truth comes out. I beg you. File that defamation suit. How do people like David, Neo, and Asia live with themselves? 6 months, no charges, no press conference. But LAPD and the district attorney's office did issue a press release stating that they had the medical examiner's autopsy and investigative findings sealed so detectives could review them first, claiming it was not meant to undermine transparency. They got that information, yet the records remain sealed. That press release misled the public. That press release was a lie. Another press release suggested the only potential criminal culpability might be concealment of a body. They said that knowing Celeste's arms and legs have been sawed off. You came out with that press release knowing what had been done to her? If they do not have enough evidence to charge those responsible, then they need to say that plainly. Admit that after nearly 6 months, the investigation has not produced sufficient evidence to charge David Anthony Burke or anyone else who participated or was an accessory. Admit it's a blown investigation. Admit that important evidence was left behind after the search warrant. Admit that critical surveillance was lost because nobody followed up to obtain it. Celeste's head and torso were placed in one cadaver bag. Her arms and legs were placed in another. Someone purchased cadaver bags. They cut her apart, placed her remains inside those bags, put in the trunk of a Tesla, and went on with their lives. They purchased cadaver bags. They went to the extent of purchasing cadaver bags. And still, 6 months later, there are no charges. No accountability, silence, sealed records. Threaten me with contempt all you want. I would proudly take that contempt charge in the pursuit of justice for Celeste Rivas Hernandez. 6 months is enough. Do your sworn duty or admit the case was failed. We need to let the LAPD and the DA's office know we are mad and this is not acceptable. And I wish her family would do the same. Here is the full 151-page court filing for anyone willing to read it.
Documents include petitions for his parents to come here to Los Angeles and testify in front of a grand jury. And in these petitions, David Burke is referred to as the target. They say the target may be involved in having committed the following criminal offenses: 1 count of murder, and that the target may be involved in the death of a 14-year-old victim named Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who may have been a victim of foul play. Hernandez's body was found decomposing inside David Burke's Tesla late last year. That Tesla was parked at a Hollywood tow lot. Now, in these newly unsealed court docs, they also contain some new gruesome and very disturbing details. Not only was the body of Hernandez decomposing, it was also dismembered. These documents detail how her body parts were found in 2 separate bags in a front storage compartment of that Tesla.
Now, he made a lot of good points here. One of the first good point is the fact that the family wasn't able to see the autopsy before the detectives. And the other one was the fact that they held her body in cadaver bag. Now, another thing is, why is everything under seal in the first place? What's the secret? Why were detectives only granted information pertaining to the autopsy first? What's the secret? With everybody and their mother having Ring cameras all over their homes, especially surveillance cameras as well, if you're living in a good neighborhood, why wasn't there any surveillance being presented? You mean to tell me that somebody drove that Tesla all the way to that location, got out, and was able to escape without being seen at all? No license plate readers, no Ring camera footage. What's really going on? And it don't seem like they're treating this like a usual case, because everything's being hidden, and it seems like they're not trying to investigate as much as they should. They would come to the conclusion just 6 months later to make David a suspect. He's not criminally charged yet. He's just a suspect. Now, for some reason, his family was ordered to appear before a grand jury, and he was labeled as the quote-unquote target. Let's get into the court document that showed that he's now a person of interest, as it is state quote. The undersigned Deputy District Attorney of the County of Los Angeles, State of California, pursuant to the provisions of the Uniform Act to secure the attendance of witnesses from without the state in criminal cases, California Penal Code Sections 1334 hereby reports and certifies, based on information and belief as follows: that there is now pending in the Superior Court of the County of Los Angeles the above entitled grand jury investigation by the state of California against Target David Burke, wherein Target may be involved in having committed the following criminal offenses against the laws of the state of California, to wit, 1 count of M in violation of Penal Code Section 187. Now, in the next document, it is state quote: a grand jury investigation is currently pending at the Los Angeles County Superior Court, 210 West Temple Street, Los Angeles, California, 90012. The grand jury investigation will resume on February 4th, 2026. David Burke's attendance, which is his father, will only be required on February 11th, 2026, and as far as long thereafter until he is no longer needed, but for no more than 3 days. It is alleged in this case that the target may be involved in the death of 14-year-old victim Celeste Rivas Hernandez, who may have been a victim of foul play. Her severely decomposed, dismembered body was found in the front trunk of Target's Tesla on September 8th, 2025. Now, as y'all see it here, it says may been involved in some type of foul play. I don't understand why they're saying may when this girl's arms and legs and head was torn from her body. There's no maybe foul play. There is foul play. We just don't know from who yet. Now, throughout the court documents, they mostly refer to David as Target, which I don't understand, but yeah. And if some of y'all keep hearing cadaver bag and don't know why it seems relevant or highlighted, here's why. A cadaver bag is basically another word for body bag. Them same bags you see when someone is deceased and they put their body in there, that's a cadaver bag. So when Steve was emphasizing that she was in the cadaver bag, well, it exposes a few things. One, it means that whoever did what they did to her had every intention on taking her life from the beginning, and they was very strategic about it. Two, this isn't no low-level type of situation that's going on. Whoever it was were advanced enough to get a body bag and put her remains inside. And three, cadaver bags aren't just laying around. They aren't just sold to anybody loosely. They're mainly intended for morgues, hospitals, and etc. So who purchased the body bags and where and when were they purchased? It's things like this that should have been identified by law enforcement, but instead, it wasn't. And this is why Steve, along with others, feel law enforcement dropped the ball when it came to this investigation. Now think about this. This man wasn't a suspect before, even after everything led to him. The police said it was no foul play, but yet they said her body was completely severed, including her head, and they still didn't think initially it was foul play. And her body was wrapped up. And whether they thought he was a suspect at first or not, she was found in his car, registered to him, and appearance says that he was the last person they recall her with. And technically, she was already a minor at the time. So why haven't this man been arrested is unheard of, but I guess now they're making progress. And just for context here, when we call her young, this is a picture of Celeste allegedly when they first started dating. She was 11 years old at the time. But allegedly she lied about her age, saying that she was 19 according to him and the others that's around. But let me tell y'all something. I don't care what she said. Even if she did, Stevie Wonder could look at her and see that this girl isn't 19. So to me, that was just an excuse. Now another thing that sticks out to me is the way her body was dismembered. Being that now we know her arms and everything was taken off her body, it shows that whoever did this enjoyed torturing their victims, right? So it makes you wonder, when that private investigator Steve Fisker was hired by the property manager to investigate the home David was staying at, he would go on to find a burn cage incinerator. Now according to the New York Post, the burn cage is supposed to burn at about 1600 degrees, and if you're like us, you're wondering why in the world would someone need something like that at their home. Not only that, but to hear how Celeste's body was dismembered and then hear about objects like this being found in the suspect's home, it's kind of similar to Jeffrey Dahmer going to his house and finding objects in there and then hearing that he's a suspect in a brutal unaliving. What would you think, right? So in a nutshell, y'all, David has been considered a suspect. However, no criminal charges have been officially filed. Guess we'll just have to wait and see, because as we know, no matter what we may think we know, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. But y'all let me know what y'all think about all this. How do y'all feel about David being recognized now by law enforcement as a suspect? And do y'all think that it's about time, right? Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time we drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep on watching, I'm going to keep on dropping. I'm out.